Today we're going to show you how to change your aspect ratio in Clipchamp. And there it is. While you could simply just select a ratio, there are ways that you can optimize your content depending on the type of video you're creating. So let's not waste any time and jump right in. Now, if you haven't already, open up Clipchamp and import your media. When you drag your initial clip onto the timeline, Clipchamp is going to select the aspect ratio it thinks is best suited for your clip. If it happens to be a 9:16, it will format it as YouTube short-form content. If it is closer to 16:9, then it will format it as long-form. For this clip here, its size is similar to long-form, so it formats it as 16:9. But just because Clipchamp set it to that, doesn't mean it needs to stay that way. Depending on the type of content, there are many ways that you can optimize its presentation. Now, let's say you like this clip, and you would rather use it in a YouTube short. Clipchamp makes it super easy by allowing you to change the aspect ratio in the top center. You'll see the size show up when you click off of the clip. Just click on the down caret, and you'll have the option for wide, vertical, or square. Let's change this to vertical to see how that looks as a short. I always like to play the clip and get an idea of how it looks when I play it back. Then I adjust the size of the clip accordingly. To adjust the size, just grab the corners of your clip and drag it away from the image to increase the size. Even though it's zooming in, the majority of the image is still there, and the rotational motion keeps the focus on the center. You can also set it to the square format. This is often used in Instagram posts. So if that's your kind of content, then square is what you need. There are also numerous other formats that can be used. You could try Classic, which is a 4:3. You can use Social, which is a 4:5. 4:5 is a common format for Facebook. The cinema aspect ratio is perfect for those wide screenshots or panoramic views. It has an aspect ratio of 21:9, so a bit wider than your typical YouTube video. And finally, the last one, Portrait. This one is similar to YouTube Shorts or Instagram. You'll notice that it is slightly wider than YouTube Shorts, but not as wide as a square or wide. Again, simply drag the corners of the image to expand the size of the content to cover the appropriate space on your canvas. Once you select your aspect ratio, you can update the size of the image or simply expand it to fill the entire space. For this clip, it fills out nicely. If you had the aspect ratio in a vertical format, it may cut out some of the content, but you're able to move the image or clip around to get the important part of the content in view. I'll change it back to the vertical format. Now you can see how the clip I originally set to fit and fill the screen changes to a usable size. You see how I just drug the corners to zoom in a bit on the image? Let's take an example more suited for social. Let's see. How about we find a woman speaking? Now, full transparency here. I've got a subscription to Microsoft 365. Therefore, some of these videos or images may not be available to the free version. You'll have both images and videos, just not as large of a library to choose from. Let's go with this one right here. It gives a good example of an interview setting. Since we originally had the aspect ratio set to 9:16, Clipchamp fit the image to that size canvas. But let's go ahead and convert it to 16:9. Notice that it was still small when I changed the ratio to 16:9. So then I just used the fit and fill function to fix it. All right, I think this one will do just fine. Let's now change the aspect ratio for content to be posted as a YouTube short. Simply change the aspect ratio to vertical 9:16 like so. From there again, you can pull on the corners to zoom in. Always make sure your focal point is as close to center as possible on shorts. This helps to keep your content from being blocked by subtitles. All right, let's try one more. Here is another example where the person is talking directly to the camera. Now, this is your typical short-form content. One person delivering a message. If the clip was shot from a wide or typical 16:9 aspect ratio, you can either fit and fill or stretch the image and center the face. Here, I did exactly that. I fit and filled the screen. And then, to center her face, I moved the clip over to the right. To convert it back to long-form YouTube, just select the wide 16:9 aspect ratio. Then adjust the image to line it back up. You may need to drag the corners or click the fit and fill once again to fill the space. Going back to vertical once again. Let's say that you didn't like how the fit and fill looked with your clip. You can simply drag the corners to zoom in a bit to your liking. And then to fill the rest of the space, use an effect like blur fill to give the rest of canvas cohesive background. We do that by clicking on the image on the canvas, then on the right, go to Effect. From there, scroll down until you see Blur Fill. Simply click on that and voila, an instant background. We'll play that through and make sure the focal point stays in the middle of the image and ensure the background doesn't do anything weird. So today we changed between several major aspect ratios and showed the difference in the others. We showed how to manipulate your image or clip to adjust to any aspect ratio. Now, go ahead and try it out yourself and let me know in the comments if you have questions. If you've made it this far, thank you. And you are exactly the kind of person that is going to go a long way with YouTube. Good luck on your faceless freedom journey.